Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a happy 4th of July, at least 4th of July week. It's still the 4th of July when I'm recording this, but I wanted to share a quick personal thing, check in with you guys, but just about some questions that I've gotten regarding the backdrop that I used. It was my bedroom, but the things that were in my backdrop when I recorded season 1, specifically these things. This trumpet and this hat. I guess there we go. And I put those in the frame intentionally. And the reason why is because, first of all, and there's obviously a story to it, but first of all, this horn is my first trumpet. It's just an old student model. It's really not that special. I think maybe it's probably worth like $200 now, if that. But I wanted to keep that in the frame because it was a reminder to me every time I looked at it while I was recording episodes or recording interviews of the profound love and connection that I have to my instrument. Not only while I was recording episodes, but when I was in here struggling with just in the throes of going through my injury. It's going on 2 years now since I got hurt. I've started playing a little bit now, which I'm excited about. There's still some hitches in that process, which I'm trying to figure out with some help from physicians and things. But it's just part of the process, And I wanted to have that in the frame for the podcast because it just reminds me of where my process began. Over 10 years ago, probably. Closer to 13 years ago now, and just a constant reminder for me to keep going on, to keep on keeping on, as I like to say. And I didn't get that quote. That's not a quote original to me. That's, at least as far as I can understand, that's a quote from the great Clark Terry, jazz flugelhornist and trumpet player. At least that was the name of his the documentary they made about him. And then the other thing is this hat. It's just a little flat cap that I bought while I was in London last year, while on tour with our BYU's Jazz Legacy Band in the UK. And I'd always wanted to buy one. My dad had lived in London as an LDS missionary for 2 years, and my grandpa before that, and they both had one, so I wanted to get one, but what it represents was actually an event that happened while we were out there performing in England. I was able to play a little bit more trumpet back then, and so I was able to sit in on one tune. And the tune that I always wanted to play was Amazing Grace. It's one of my favorite melodies, period, and just has, for me and my faith, has just a really beautiful message. And one of the performances that we did while on tour, what would happen is I would play tambourine for most of the set, and then pick up my trumpet for this one tune. And on this one tune, I played it like I'd never played it before. It was just in the middle of the set. We were playing for I think maybe even like an old retirement folks home. And the part of the thing that I've been struggling with over the last couple of years since the actual muscle tear in my lip was this pinching sensation that I'm still trying to figure out what the cause is. But when I played this rendition of Amazing Grace, there was no pinching at all. And not only that, but it was the ease of my playing and the song that was happening in my head and the connection that I felt to my instrument was nothing short of a miracle for me, because that summer I was really struggling with my playing, struggling with my healing and my process, and it was hard to feel hope, during last summer. And when I played that song, for me, it was just a really big faith building moment for me. I felt like my Savior was telling me that just to keep going, to keep on keeping on this process, on this path towards healing and becoming a trumpet player, because ultimately that's still what I wanted to do with my life, and I believe he respected that. And so one connection I want to make is that throughout my healing process, I've just been able to see these little lighthouses, these little pillars along my journey that have just helped me just kind of recharge, and my hope, and how I'm conceptualizing my recovery. These little stepping stones of little miracles that happen that help me just to keep going. And so I hung that up, in the frame for the podcast as a reminder for that reason, just to keep going when the podcast got hard, when I would start on the trumpet again, when that got hard. It's just a visual reminder. And I would invite all of you, especially those of you who are going through injury, but even if you're not, to find those stepping stones, those lighthouses, or those pillars, whatever you want to call them, in your career, post-injury, pre-injury, whatever, that help you to keep going, that help you see the path ahead in some small way. And it's, and then find a visual reminder, something, even if it's like a little sticky note on your mirror, because then those little visual reminders, those little things will just help always keep you forward thinking and thinking about the future, and not worrying about the future, but just being focused on the present and having a healthy relationship with the future is probably a better way to put it. So anyway, guys, exciting things are coming, very exciting things very, very soon for the podcast. So keep an eye out on the social media page. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Keep on keeping on and trust the process.